Hello and welcome to another video. Today I made a family tree for Elizabeth I of England, and as you can see the family tree isn't very big, there's only 10 people on it. LOL. Um, but there might be some even smaller family trees, so don't worry. Actually, there will be. So, so this is the whole family tree of Queen Elizabeth I. So, her parents were King Henry VIII of England and Anne Boleyn. Henry was already king when before Queen Elizabeth was even born. Her paternal grandparents were Henry VII and Elizabeth of York, Henry VII of England, and her maternal grandparents were Thomas Boleyn and Lady Elizabeth Howard. And you might be wondering if William Howard Taft is related to Queen Elizabeth I by Howard because Taft's grandmother's last name was also Howard. The answer is there is no evidence if they are connected or not, but probably not. Anyway, uh, Elizabeth's mother, Anne Boleyn, was executed when Elizabeth was only 2 or 3 or 4 years old. She was still a child, and her father was just he was just like a king slash dictator of England. He wasn't a good person at all. He would execute people that he thought are the traitors. It was just Henry. Uh, anyway, so Elizabeth did not have siblings, but she had half siblings that her father had from different marriages slash affairs. So there was Mary, later known as Mary the First of England. Henry first married Catherine of Aragon, and Mary was their daughter. Then later Henry had uh, an affair. I don't know with whom exactly, but he had an illegitimate son from that affair named Henry Fitzroy. Henry died when he was 17, and guess what? He was married for like a year or two. He was a teenager when he died, and he was married. Wow. But that was common at the time, so don't worry. Then Henry married Anne Boleyn and had Elizabeth, and then she had two miscarriages. She did not give him a male heir, so he executed her. But she was still young. She could have still given birth if he given him given her a chance, and she was insisting that Elizabeth was his heir, and he said no, he wants a son, and that's how the Tudor dynasty ended when Queen Elizabeth died. But there was also Edward, later known as Edward VI, and he was actually younger than than Elizabeth, because after Anne Boleyn was executed, Henry married Jane Seymour, and they had a son named Edward, and Jane died a few days after giving birth to Edward. Edward was king after Henry VIII died, and Edward died when he was only 15 years old, and his heir was a lady, or no, she was still a teenage girl named Jane Grey. She was only queen for 8 or 9 days before being executed, and Mary became queen. After Mary died, Elizabeth became queen, and she ruled for 55 years. That's a long time, but then Queen Victoria, no, Queen Victoria or George III, I think George III. George III extended the record, and then I think Queen Victoria served longer, reigned longer, and then ultimately Queen Elizabeth II reigned the longest. And now King Charles doesn't even have a chance. He's in his 70s. Even if he lived to 122, he would not beat his mother's record, because she was in her 20s when she was queen, and he was in his 70s when he was coronated. Um, Never mind, because we're talking about Queen Elizabeth the First, and I was just talking about Queen Elizabeth the Second. But the topic is about Queen Elizabeth the First family. So, and also she did have a lover, but they never had the thing that to make babies. She was never married. She would never had kids, and it was said that she never had sex with a man. With a man, that might be true, but she did have a lover. If you watched the movie from 1997, I think, movie Elizabeth, uh, you will know. But that might have been made up just for the movie. I'm not sure. But that's the whole family tree of Queen Elizabeth I. Only 10 people on it, and so yeah, she never had kids, and the Tudor dynasty ended in 1603 when she died. It started in 1485 and then ended in 1603. So that's almost 120 years. That's almost as long as Jean Calment lived, but just a little shorter. Um, so yeah, that'll be the end, and I'll make a voting poll on my channel, on this channel that you're watching this video. I'm gonna make a post with a voting poll on it. You can vote whatever family tree you'd like to see next, and I'll see you in the next video. And don't forget to like and subscribe. See you later. Oh, I misclicked.